All right, about to do a little tour around the property, hike out here, kind of show you guys where I'm living, the farm, the area. Probably scout some locations for my next overnighter or two-nighter. If you guys see anything that looks cool or catches your eye, feel free to drop a comment and let me know what you think of the place. This will probably be a two-part video. Heck, it'll probably be a two-part hike because it's a decent little amount of property. I think it's like 140 to 160 acres, something like that. Here, is where I did the New Year's Eve hammock trip. And then that property extends all the way down that hill to a creek. And then at this end of the field, it extends to that tree line. We come around here. There's a road that you can't see, but that'll become clear later on. It crosses that road and goes over to that side. And over there is a cattle field where we still have livestock. Show you guys around. I might even set up a little shelter or something. I got a poncho in my bag so we can practice that. And yeah, like I said, just let me know what you guys think. If you see a spot that looks like it's a great place to go camping, let me know. I'll let you know what I think as well. So that's a better view of the house. So setting off down the driveway here. Got a little clear view of that road. It kind of bisects the property. And kind of my thought is we're going to go down there, enter that field at that end, sweep up around through here, and then come back out up here. So that's kind of the trajectory we'll take today. So up there is the gate that we came through, and you can't really see the pavement, but that's where that road runs, and it takes a hard corner right there, goes downhill. There's some of that residual snow we got last weekend. And then the property runs all the way to a road down there. We're not going down there. Then over here, we got a deep ravine with a creek. We're going to loop back up in here and check out this quarry area. It's a pretty neat little spot. So here's sort of a little ravine that leads down to a creek. Actually more like a small stream. I'll show you the other perspective from the other peak once we get over there. I just don't trust that stream, even though it's from a little spring up here on the property. It's a cattle field. There's too much feces and urine in it for me to trust any amount of boiling, purification, filtering, or anything from it. I used to love playing in this quarry when I was growing up. It's a pretty neat little area. It's a small quarry. It's not like an industrial mining operation or anything. From what I understand, the history I've been told is that they were blowing this out when they made the roads that came through here hundreds of years ago. Let's see if we can step down here. And there's a lot of features that support that. You can see where they, not on video, but you can see where they actually bored into the rock and had tubes to where I guess they dropped dynamite or whatever explosives down in there. There's a little ridge line up there. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty sweet little area. And I wouldn't mind camping here except for the fact that we got stagnant water. And as we all know, that's just a no-go recipe. Too many bugs, too many mosquitoes. So it's a pretty cool area to walk through in the winter and hang out and check out. Maybe I'll come back when it's cold again. But definitely in the summer and the hotter weather, it's just no good. That stagnant water it's brutal. It's a nice little idyllic area where a couple of little springs meet. It's kind of the low land, the flat bottom of that ravine, that creek, and the ravine is just that way. Quarry's up that way. That would lead up to that red barn that you keep seeing in my videos. Up through there, it's all pretty steep, hilly, forested area, and it leads down right to that creek. The cattle really love hanging out in there. But we're going to head up to the other side of that ravine. So here we are, the other side of that creek or ravine. The road is about up there. The quarry is in that area. That flat spot would be down about there. And this opens up into the back side of the farm to a field that we call 5-acre field, because it is approximately 10 acres. Legend has it that it was 5 acres when it first began as a field. And just every year they cut hay and tended the property, it just slowly got bigger. Some of y'all might recognize this area. It's been featured in a couple other videos. I think I went over here a couple times with my buddy Joe Lobo. And let's go check out the old campsite. It's up there near that down tree root, that root ball. See what's happened. So here's the old campsite. We've been here a couple of times. It's not a bad spot. There's a fence line down there. I don't know if you can see it, but it's about at the ridge line where that hill drops off and goes down to that road. And yeah, what? Is it starting to rain? Oh boy, starting to rain. Okay, so it wasn't really starting to rain. I was just goofing around. But I'm going to set up a lean-to shelter out of a poncho. And just in case it was raining, you're on a little hike or whatever, you're not bringing gear to stay out overnight. Just if you needed to make a little temporary shelter to weather a little storm or whatever, and if that storm doesn't let up, you can break the poncho down and wear it and walk out. But yeah, I've never made a lean-to proper. At this campsite, I've done some stuff before I even knew anything about any of this stuff. Like with one of those poly blue tarps, you know, the ones, the lawnmower tarps or whatever. I kind of made a lean-to with that, but it wasn't really a bushcraft thing. It was just kind of something I put together. So this will be my first time attempting a lean-to, especially out of a poncho. So we're going to see how it goes. Even if I'm just out hiking around or doing a day trip, I'm going to always carry at least like a little poncho or something with me. And always like some basic cutting tools, a knife, and some cordage just in case. Always comes in handy. Going about waist height, and I'm just going to do a simple shoelace knot, just tying a bow. This isn't anything heavy duty or permanent. This isn't an overnight shelter, so that's going to do everything we need it to. Hopefully, ideally. will seat. As you see, the wind's coming down off that mountain. That's the way that the wind and rain and storms usually come out here. So that's why we're going to set it up in this direction. You don't need to ratchet it down or have anything super duper tight, especially with lightweight fabric like a poncho. Now in this situation, I don't have any tent stakes with me because I wasn't planning on needing them. But we can make some. And there we have it. It's nothing great, but it'll help us stay dry in the event of a torrential downpour or anything. Throw our gear up under here and hang out for a few minutes. So yeah, let's get a little closer examination of this just to show you what I got going on. Obviously there's a hood and a poncho. Got that cinched down to try to keep rain out. We would have to probably tie those around it and close it off if it was really heavy. This tent stakes aren't extremely substantial. Would have been better served to make them a little longer, a little deeper, especially if the wind's kicking. But they served our purpose, didn't they? Like I said, just a simple little shoelace knot. That's all you need. If I was doing something heavier or trying to do an overnight lean-to, wouldn't do anything like this, but simple enough for now. Look, just breaks down just like that. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. That was a fun little bit of practice. Haven't set up a lean-to like that before. It's always nice to practice your bushcrafting skills, and so if you ever need them, you can deploy them quickly. But coming out of that, over there, we're following this fence line down. And once we get into that corner over there, that's where I went on this last trip, last overnighter. Across the field, we have the back side of the forest. That red barn is right about over in there somewhere. We'll check that out in a little bit. So this is sort of the corner of the fenced-in property, but it's not exactly where our property line ends. This is where I went for that last overnighter, where I built that tripod and self-feeding fire, all that good stuff. Oh, good. Yep, looks like our fire reflector's still up and holding. Probably come back to this spot sometime soon. Do another trip here. Man, doesn't that look like some good firewood? It's paradise. Worthless. And then this is the other fence line up. I think I'm gonna backtrack a little bit just to show you guys some of that hill, that ridge line up there. Peek down over in that area. Okay, so I've backtracked a bit. We're back in 5 acre field. That's where we came up, is over there, over that hill, over that crest. That's that old campsite over there where I set up that lean-to. And we walked this fence line down to that corner over there. But I've come back a little bit to kind of show you this area. This is some really cool woods right here. But it's just so steep, there's not a bunch of great places to go. It all slopes down to some springs and some creeks that run through there. We are just in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, right here at the Blue Ridge. And so it makes for very interesting, beautiful terrain, but it's also very hilly. So finding a good flat spot is the trick. Or just go hammock camping. Then you don't have to worry about it. So yeah, I've kind of stepped in here just so you could kind of get an idea of what these woods are like. Fairly steep. I grew up playing in these woods as a kid, and it's great for that, but not the best for the camping with the unlevel stuff and all the slopes. But hey, you can always overcome, make a spot, or find something good, figure something out. So if you can continue down this line right here, this fence line, you'll reach that corner where I had the fire reflector and all that good stuff. You come up here, you can see where we share the property line with another farm. But this is kind of where I have a little interest. I want to see what we got going on over in here. See if we can't maybe find a good spot for our next trip in this area. Now this seems like it could be a potential spot. Sort of level, got a little clearing going on here. Got a decent little bit of coverage with some cedar trees. Keep going, see what I can find. It's not a bad idea. Fairly level, especially with a little browse bed. It wouldn't be too bad. Oh no, let's keep going. Still just walking through these woods, some trying to scout out good locations. It's pretty cozy through here. I like the cedar trees, the pine trees. Bunch of interesting spots. Some tenable, some a little less so. Did come across this stuff right here. Excellent kindling source. I believe that's honeysuckle. That's definitely a vine of some sort. It's dry. And learned that from James from over at Spirited Adventure. That stuff would make great kindling for you. Hit that with a ferrocerium rod and you're good to go. Now I feel like this area definitely has some potential. We're right here by some water, but that is a running stream from a spring. I don't think we should have too many problems with bugs and gnats and mosquitoes and all those creepy crawlies. This is kind of at the bottom of that hill, and it's where this spring and a spring over there meet, and it kind of forms this lowland flat area. I like this a lot. I think I might have to check this out here very soon. Definitely saving this for a return visit. Make sure you watch out for those thorns and briars when you're going through the woods. They'll get you. So I took a bit of a shortcut down through the woods. Came over to this area. Leads up and out. There's that red barn right up there at the top of the hill. There's a couple little flat areas through here that are workable. Could do something with some of these places. We'll just have to see. Lots of potential. Nothing that jumps out as a perfect spot right away, but hey, that's half the fun, right? It's making the spot perfect. So back over that direction's where we came from, but instead of doing that circuitous loop around the farm, I just cut through the woods. Kind of orient you a little bit. There's the barn. We were walking along that back side of the property, and then we cut down through the woods through here and came up this stream. So now I'm gonna walk on out and head back to the house. So yeah, that's where we started. Walked down the driveway, hit the road, went off down there, dropped down through the quarry and that ravine, came up the other side, walked through the field around back, came around to the corner, cut down through the woods, got in that area, came up here and walked up this hill. If I'd continued that path, would have circled around over there and come out here. That's the tractor path for feeding the cattle. You just walk on up. Once again, that's my mom's house. And so yeah, full circuit. That's the whole loop. At least for this side of the property. I feel like this side of the property is a little bit more interesting. It's got a little more woods and forest. The other side's mainly pasture and field. Obviously the hillside still has all the trees and that good woodland area. But for the most part, it's just a steep hill. And you can kind of run into some other people's property over there, see a few houses off in the distance at night. It's not really what I want when I'm trying to sleep in the woods, is to see somebody's porch light. But yeah, so that's the first part of the two-part tour of this property. Thank you for coming along, checking it out. It was fun setting up that little lean-to with the poncho. As always, I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much, and until next time, I'll see you then.